Yeah, let's do it. More Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Dual Destinies in the Apollo Justice Trilogy, Part 2. We are in the DLC special case, which is the third chronological case in the game. So let's go. We are cross-examining Mr. Marlon Rhymes. Sasha's lying to protect that orca. At 3:30 a.m. on the 20th, there was still water in the orca pool. The incident happened before the orca was moved to the show pool. Orla killed the captain by bashing him 30 feet high and making him slam into the water. So I thought the orca should pay the consequences. All right? Well, let's see. What exactly do you claim Miss Buckler is lying about? Sasha put that bloodstain on the skull rock and stuff herself as false evidence. She left fake traces to try and save the orca.
Witness, if you keep talking nonsense, I will seal your mouth shut.
The defense supports the prosecution's idea. But Mr. Wright, my testimony helps your client. You gotta be happy. I want to save both Orla and Miss Buckler. I won't accept anything less. Now that that's understood, please continue with your testimony. Fine. At 3:30 a.m. on the 20th, there was still water in the orca pool. The incident happened before the orca was moved to the show pool. Oh yeah, let's do 3:38. Let's press that. When the victim was killed, how much water was in the pool? It was before the pool was drained for cleaning, so it was full. You went into the orca pool room and saw this yourself? Dr. Crabbe said that you were at the show stage.
But it's possible that Dr. Crabbe was misinformed or that he misunderstood. Witness, how do you explain this?
Why are you making this meaningless attack?
You want to play games? Taka here will be more than happy to play with you.
We'd better be careful how we press the witness. Taka's watching us like a hawk.
Witness, continue.
That's because Taka is a hawk. Thankfully, this isn't like the clown cross-examination where we actually get penalized if we press the wrong thing. So you're saying the incident took place before the cleaning began? Yeah, I guess so. The captain, Sasha, and I were going to do the cleaning together. It's much more efficient than trying to have just one person do it alone.
In the defense's case, however, more lawyers means simply more lawyers. Nothing more.
What? You wanted to talk? All you have on your side is a cantankerous bird. What about me? I'm up here all alone. Are you people done?
You need the witness to keep you focused? For shame, right, Dono?
Hey, I was the only one who kept my mouth shut. Anyway, the incident happened in the orca pool before the cleaning got started. Orla killed the captain by bashing him 30 feet high and making him slam into the water. Okay. Can an orca even do that? Send a person flying up into the air like that? Yep, of course. I've seen orcas bashing seals 60 feet into the air. So naturally, Orla could do that to the captain, too. What a frightening thought! And you mentioned it so casually, Mr. Rhymes. Well, what else can I say? It's the truth. Mr. Rhymes is claiming that Orla killed the victim by sending him flying into the air. Would something like that even be possible in the orca pool room? There's something about that statement that bothers me. And so you witnessed the moment the victim was killed by the orca, is that right? Exactly. Okay. So that the orca should pay the consequences. And that's why you put the sleeping drug in Orla's food? Oh no. Ahoy! Yo, 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 ho, ho! Sasha could be found guilty if we let her be, but if the orca died, Sasha could go free. I thought if the orca was already dead, Sasha might tell the truth and free herself. It might seem cruel, but a man killing animal has to be put down. The culprit must have tried to do away with Orla because she was a witness to the crime. But if Mr. Rhymes is the culprit, Why would he try to protect Sasha? I'm sensing some very complex emotions from Mr. Rhymes. I need more information before I can do a proper analysis. If I'm gonna tear down his testimony, then I guess I have to present evidence. Of course, we don't believe Mr. Rhymes' testimony, but he's suggesting the murder took place in the Orca pool. Unless we can disprove that, we won't be able to save both Orla and Sasha. Right. Okay. I think we got a pretty good hint at what we were supposed to get. Let's see. Because it was, let me see, 3:30 a.m. We got incident. He killed the captain by bashing him 30 feet high and making him slam into the water. That is not correct. Because we had already established, was it... Wait, we don't have... Is the autopsy report gone? Did we lose it? I'm not sure. Let's see. Pool bottom photo. A photo of the bottom of the pool. The locations of the bloodstains detected with luminol are sketched in. No. Sign Sasha made for the new show. I mean, that is important for later because that's very clearly the penguin's feet. But we'll worry about that later. I've got that mentally in the back pocket. Shipley's autopsy report. Estimated time of head trauma thought to be from 60-foot fall into pool. Ceiling 65 feet. The autopsy report will no longer be updated. Instead, we've just shredded it. Black quill in a minute, probably. Yes. Yes. I think you're right. 30 feet high, but this says he fell 65 feet. Yeah. Let's see if this works. Objection! I think it did. When lies are piled on top of each other, contradictions start to emerge. This time is no different. Are you saying there's some kind of inconsistency in my testimony? That's exactly what I'm saying. You claimed that the victim was sent flying about 30 feet into the air. But the autopsy report shows the apparent cause of death to be from a 65-foot fall. What? Additionally, in your testimony a moment ago, you said at 3:30 a.m. on the 20th, there was still water in the Orca pool. With the pool being 65 feet deep, there's only 30 feet between the water and ceiling. If the pool was full of water, as you claimed, it would be impossible for the victim to fall about 65 feet, as the autopsy states. Ah! Mr. Rhymes claimed he was in the Orca pool so he could make these statements. But the truth must be he was at the show stage, just as Dr. Crab and Sasha testified. I believe that brings us back around to the Orca didn't do it.
I didn't believe the witness's testimony from the outset. I am grateful to you, Right Dono, for shutting the witness up. As I thought, the only person who could have killed the victim is Sasha Buckler. That fact still remains, whether the witness was the one who tried to kill the Orca or not.
Son of a... Mr. Rhymes was right about one thing. His testimony was advantageous to our case. But pointing out the contradiction in his statement will only drive us into a corner. As Prosecutor Blackquill said, suspicion against Miss Buckler is now deepened. Uh-oh. If I don't do something fast, the judge is gonna find Sasha guilty. Mr. Wright, isn't there anything we can do? There has to be a way to prove Sasha is innocent. At a time like this, the thing to do is turn my thinking around. Instead of trying to prove that Sasha couldn't have done it, I have to think about what made it possible for somebody else to have done it. As long as the crime scene is the Orca pool room, then Sasha is the only one who could have committed the crime.
No need for pity, your boldness. Just finish him off with a swift verdict.
It appears the defense has no objections. Very well, I will give my verdict. Your Honor, please hold off on that verdict. But you were so quiet, Mr. Wright. Do you have something to say now? The defense has a counter-argument. You do?
Pitiful. Such desperation. You look pale. Are you sure you're prepared to make this counter-argument?
The worst of times are when lawyers have to force their biggest smiles. I'll never forget those words, no matter how many years go by. Even though it's probably just a bluff, I'll give it to them with a smile. What if the scene of the crime was somewhere else? The scene of the crime?
Somewhere else? What? You're finding fault with the police investigation now?
As I understand it, the prosecution's argument is as follows. The scene of the crime was the Orca pool. Only the defendant and victim entered that room when there was no water in the pool. Therefore, only the defendant could have committed the crime.
That is correct.
But if the scene of the crime was not the Orca pool room, then somebody other than the defendant could have committed the crime. Are you sure you know where you're going with this? I might not be too sure, but I can't back down now. Mr. Wright, I hope that I'm wrong, but this isn't one of your bluffs by any chance?
Of course not.
The judge knows me far too well. And do you have a theory on where the actual scene of the crime was? Yes, of course. Think, Phoenix, think. Think of a place other than the Orca pool room where one could fall to one's death. Then, by all means, please share your theory with the court. Where was the real scene of the murder? I mean, let's think about this logically. I bet it was at a Denny's. The victim was so confused about what to order that he just died. Oh, was he secretly a policeman? Let's see, can I scroll to the nearest Denny's? No, okay. So it's not the Orca pool. So... what if it was not the Orca pool? Wait, remember? Hang on. Let's go back to the court record for a second. Remember these, the ladder prints, that were like inversed of what you would imagine them to look like? The ladder prints, because it says they're Rhymes's, but there's something odd about them. They're upside down. And also we have the sign that has the penguin steps. I don't know if that's important or not. And remember, the blood traces that we had were on the skull, which was originally... oh, it was originally in the show pool, because that was the new show. And it got moved to the Orca pool. So the show pool might actually be the real murder scene. Let's try it. The show stage pool might have been drained of water at some point as well. And if so, it would be just as possible to fall to one's death there as the Orca pool.
Right, Domo. What you're doing is a disgrace to your profession. I sincerely hope you have some basis for what you are suggesting. Of course I do.
I will. As soon as I think of something.
The victim's body was found in the orca pool. How do you explain that?
How about if, after the victim was killed in the show stage pool, his body was moved to the orca pool?
How about if? What kind of presentation of your argument is that? You had better have a reasonable explanation of how the body was moved.
There's no turning back now. I have to think of a way the body could have been moved. Was there something at the scene that could have been used to move the body? Yeah, this stuff. They said that this could move an orca. It can move a body. The hoist runs between the orca pool room and the show stage. The stretcher can be hung from the hoist to move things like Orla or the Skull Rock. The stretcher could also have been used to move the dead body.
Yes. If the stretcher can move the orca or the Skull Rock, it seems likely it could also move a dead body as well.
Wow. Somehow that worked. I just might be able to pull this off. If the show pool was the scene of the crime, somebody else could have done it.
Objection.
You desperately spew conjecture, and now you even make up a crime scene?
Eek! Not again!
You don't have the soul of a warrior. You don't deserve to be on the battlefield. And even your fabrication is half-baked. It's a disgrace.
What do you mean half-baked?
The hoist can be operated from the orca pool room only. And the only person who entered the orca pool room was the defendant. So even if the body was moved, the only one who could have moved it was the defendant herself.
Yeah! Order. So it comes back to the defendant no matter which pool it was?
Meaning, I can't clear Sasha either way. Sasha said she moved Orla and the Skull Rock, and I believe her. So could it be possible that she moved the body herself without being aware of it?
Mr. Wright, do you have an objection to Prosecutor Blackwell's claim?
Do I have an objection to the claim that the defendant moved the body? We gotta have one. The defense has an objection.
All right, fine. Let's hear this objection, then.
Well, my objection is... I can't admit I haven't thought of one.
Mr. Wright, you just felt like saying you had an objection, didn't you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, I just feel like giving you a penalty.
The hoist can only be operated from the orca pool room. Furthermore, the defendant is the only one who entered the orca pool room. Therefore, the defendant is the only one who could have moved the body.
There are no inconsistencies in Prosecutor Blackwell's claim itself. But the only thing Sasha moved are Orla and the Skull Rock. That must mean Sasha moved the body without realizing it. Now, I admit, I don't see any problems with Prosecutor Blackwell's claim per se. Miss Buckler must have been the one who moved the body.
What?
Mr. Wright, are you admitting the defendant committed the murder?
No. I'm simply conceding that she was the only one who could have moved the body. However, I contend Miss Buckler was not aware that is what she was doing. The culprit made her move it, unbeknownst to her.
The defendant moved a dead body without recognizing that it was a dead body? How could that be possible?
The body was found in the orca pool. It must have been moved there somehow. I might find some kind of hint in the thing she moved with the stretcher. Hang on a second. Do we still have the security camera footage, or did that get taken away? I think it got taken away. Okay. Apollo, you took my evidence. We got... Okay, so the thought that I had here is that... So the two things she moved had to do with the other show. And the Skull Rock, which had blood on it, was part of the show. The other thing is that DePlume saw Orla headbutting the rock, which made the body come out. I think the body was stuffed into the Skull Rock while Sasha was moving it. And then Orla knew the body was in there and was headbutting it to try to get him out. That's what I think probably was happening. So let's see. The culprit made Miss Buckler move the body along with this piece of evidence. Skull Rock.
The Skull Rock?
Miss Buckler told me yesterday that she moved the Skull Rock when she was cleaning. The only two things Miss Buckler moved to the Orca pool are Orla and the Skull Rock. I would like to suggest that the victim's body may have been inside the Skull Rock.
What?
Hidden inside the rock, the body could have been moved to the Orca pool with the hoist. At the show stage, Marlon Rhymes loaded up the Skull Rock with the body inside, and then he used the walkie-talkie to let Miss Buckler know the rock was loaded. Miss Buckler operated the hoist from the Orca pool room and moved the stretcher. She moved the rock, without knowing the body was inside.
Do you really think there's enough space inside the Skull Rock to place a body?
The swashbuckler flyer indicates it could be possible. Please focus on the question at the bottom left. Who will obtain the gold coins hidden in the Skull Rock?
Oh, it says, who will obtain the gold coins hidden in the Skull Rock? In that case, I suppose the rock is most likely hollow.
What's more, the body was inside the Skull Rock. It explains the remaining unanswered questions.
Such as?
Please take a look at the security footage of the scene Mr. Bloom witnessed. Where did the body that Mr. Bloom saw come from? He's getting exactly what I was saying. Yes. Please recall, what was Orla doing to the Skull Rock at the time? She was headbutting it.
Oh!
That's right. Orla's ramming released the body from the Skull Rock. The body had been placed inside the Skull Rock and moved there from the show stage. I assert that the real murder scene was, in fact, the show stage pool.
Silence. What rubbish is this now?
You don't have a single scrap of evidence. It's easy enough to verify what I say. Take a look inside the Skull Rock for yourself. You should find some kind of proof that the body was there. Blood, fibers, hair.
Ugh! Right, don't know.
Mr. Wright, that was incredible! You turned things completely around. And to think, it all started with that half-baked bluff, too. Whew! That was a close one. Did you really have to add that last bit?
If the murder took place at the show stage, well then who is the perpetrator?
It is naturally the person who was at the show stage. Mr. Rhymes, weren't you the one who loaded the Skull Rock onto the stretcher at the show stage? Wow, Mr. Wright. That was some pretty smart brain work you did there. To be honest, I never thought you could figure it out. I tried to protect myself, but I guess it came back to bite me.
Are you confessing you gave false testimony before, Mr. Rhymes? That's perjury! We don't really prosecute perjury anymore, but it is.
Yeah, what Mr. Wright says is true. The body was inside the Skull Rock. And it's true, the captain was killed in the show pool, too. What? He's admitting it that easily? This time, I'm going to tell you the whole truth about what happened that day. Witness testimony. The whole truth. In the show pool, the orca shot the captain up into the air. Then the captain came down and slammed into the water. I can still remember the spectators' screams clearly. All Sasha did was move the body. She was trying to protect the orca. When Mr. Plume witnessed the orca finding the body, I freaked. What?
So now we're back to that orca again, I see.
If you were going to give testimony like that, why did I bother putting you on the stand?
All I'm doing is telling the truth. That day, Sasha wanted to do the old version of the Swashbuckler Spectacular. So I suggested she hide the body in the Skull Rock and move it to the orca pool. I was going to figure out what to do with the body after the show was over. The orca is the one that killed the captain. It wasn't me, and it wasn't Sasha. It was Mr. Rhymes' idea to hide the body in the Skull Rock. The only thing, though, is Black Quill's right. That testimony makes literally no sense. Something is very wrong with what he just said. But if Mr. Rhymes is the culprit, why would he protect Sasha? That's another good question. But the other good question, actually, I have several questions. One of them is, there was a show going on? There was an audience? The pool was empty? He was launched into the air? And he hit the water? What? I have many questions. False charges against Sasha would mean he himself would escape suspicion. So why? Mr. Wright, how about if you leave this to me? Athena, do you mean you heard something? Yep, noise. Discord in Mr. Rhymes' heart. So that means somewhere in his testimony there's an inconsistency in his emotions. All right, Athena. Give him a good counseling session. You got it, boss. All right. Time for magical emotion sensing. Huh? What's this? What are you getting, Athena? This testimony is pretty complex. Feelings of deep sadness and intense anger are being called up. These two emotions appear to be running out of control. Out of control emotions. Is that going to be a problem? We'll have to probe their cause if we want to get to his true emotions and testimony. There might even be odd or unnatural spots in his testimony he isn't even aware of. All right, let's probe for the cause of his out-of-control emotions. I'll explain how to probe. Let's find the root cause together. When you see something off in a statement, press the probe. Next, point to what's causing Mr. Rhymes' out-of-control emotions. Finally, press probe to complete the process. When emotions are out of control, memories can be recalled incorrectly. If you still haven't found anything after all the statements and images, I'll help. Great. All right, I'll get started comparing the statements with the images. Okay? Let's see what we got here. Okay. In the show pool, the orca shot the captain up into the air. Alright. Then the captain came down and slammed into the water. Hang on a second. But how could he have hit the water if the... Well, let's keep going for a second. I can still remember the spectators' screams clearly. Okay, there's a problem here. Spectators. That's got to be a problem. I doubt there were any spectators there at the show stage when the owner died. If there had been, those witnesses would have told us the crime scene right away. What? Oh, right, of course. I just made a mistake. Okay. Okay, that made the sadness subside. So maybe the spectators part was what was making him sad? I wonder why he would make that mistake, saying spectators were there. How strange. The only thing I can think of is that he was mixing up one memory with another. And perhaps a memory talked about in this book. Orca kills its trainer. Like he was in a similar situation before, and it was deeply imprinted on his heart. Oh, and like, this is his charm? A situation where an orca killed somebody and there were spectators there? Hey, I think I know why he's mixing up his memories. The reason why Mr. Rhymes mixed up his memories is... the killer... yeah. Mr. Rhymes, I think I know what happened. Yep. Could you have been mixing up what happened a year ago with this incident? Maybe that's why you slipped and said the owner was killed in front of spectators. What? How did you... You're right. I did see the orca kill somebody a year ago. But what about it? I was just one of the spectators. Really? Just another spectator? There must be a reason why you feel great sadness about that incident last year.
Silence.
Stop this nonsensical scrutiny of feelings. Just present evidence to prove your point.
Boss, do we have any kind of evidence that would back us up here? There is one piece that comes to mind that might explain his sadness.
Well, I'm waiting. Let's see this evidence that has to do with Mr. Marlon Rhymes' sadness, the charm.
Azura Summers died an accidental death 1 year ago. This is her boyfriend's charm.
Hey, what are you doing with that charm?
It was found in Rifle's stomach yesterday. Judging by your reaction, I believe this charm belongs to you. I guess I need to push him just a little harder to make him admit it. Mr. Rhymes said the word charm. He was very rattled. We'd better examine this charm a little more. Good idea. Let's look inside it. Huh? What's this? A photograph?
Look at this photograph.
Ah. Hey, this is Azura Summers and Marlon Rhymes. Mr. Rhymes, you and Azura Summers were a couple, weren't you?
So what if we were a couple?
It doesn't have anything to do with the captain's case. You believe you saw the orca kill your girlfriend. That's the cause of your sadness. Isn't that emotion of yours connected to the current case?
Silence.
The only thing he revealed was the witness's connection to the victim of last year's incident. What does the witness's past have to do with the case at hand?
I don't know yet. But we managed to pinpoint the source of his sadness. Now, let's delve into who Mr. Rhymes is angry at. In the show pool, the orca shot the captain up into the air. Right? And the captain came down and slammed into the water. So we know that this is different. I can still remember the captain's dead body clearly. All Sasha did was move the body. She was trying to protect the orca. When Mr. Plume witnessed the orca finding the body, I freaked. Okay. So yeah, we got Sasha there hiding the body. And we're trying to figure out who he's angry at, specifically. Wait, I got a thought. If he's grabbing the body, if Orla was... I think he's upset about that. I wonder if that's part of what happened. Let's see. Mr. Rhymes, you're angry with Orla, aren't you?
Angry? At an orca? Why would I be?
If you think I have some reason to be mad, then show me some proof. Do I have proof that Mr. Rhymes has a reason to be mad? Yeah. I bet that evidence we just took a look at would come in handy here. This charm indicates that you were Azura Summers' boyfriend. I'm sure you believe Orla killed your girlfriend a year ago. You lost your girlfriend, and so you've been angry at Orla.
Alright, I'll admit it. I'll never forgive that orca. Azura's dead, and that orca is still swimming around happy as a clam. I became an animal keeper just so I could prove that orca is a killer.
You're right. I want that orca to pay. There. You feel good dragging up a person's past, but it still doesn't change anything. All right. He's right. I disagree. It does change things. His out-of-control emotion quieted down. Now we should be able to find out the truth behind that emotion. Okay. Alright, we're back to pinpointing. In the show pool, the orca shot the captain. So anger and sadness. Anger, sadness. All Sasha did was move the body. I missed it. Alright. This one's like huge when he sees that. The sadness. Maybe this is it. The sadness is really intense. Let's see if this is it. When we view your emotions alongside your testimony, we found the unexpected emotion. Wait a minute. There really isn't anything strange here. Oh, there isn't? I don't know, but I think maybe we made a mistake, Mr. Wright. I think maybe you're right. Let's take another look. There must be an unexpected emotion here somewhere. Okay. Can we get a hint, Athena? According to my analysis, Mr. Rhymes is usually a very calm person. Let's see if we can find any inconsistencies between his words and his emotions. Okay. The orca shot the captain up into the air, then the captain came down, right? I can still remember the captain's dead body clearly. All Sasha did was move the body because she was trying to protect the orca. Right. When Mr. Plume... Wait. Witnessed the orca finding the body, I freaked. Hang on a second. But he didn't freak. There's nothing there. When Mr. Plume witnessed the orca finding the body, you freaked? Really? What are you getting at? With Mr. Plume as a witness, Orla was guaranteed to be accused of the murder. Didn't it work out exactly as you'd hoped? In order to have Orla put down, you made sure Mr. Plume witnessed that scene. And there he is. Noise level 0%. Bye-bye. So you figured all that out, did you?
Mr. Rhymes, are you admitting it?
I didn't really want to have to fight anybody but the orca. But you leave me no choice. What? What's happening? What? 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 He's a One Piece character. He's just become a One Piece character. What? Okay.
Mr. Rhymes, there's no going Super Saiyan in this courtroom. Now it's time to get serious.
Oh no.
Ahoy! What? Yo, ho, ho, ahoy, me meat brothers represent! Avasti grass eaters, stay free! Take me words and pop 'em in your mouth! Scurvy grass eaters, kneel! Yo, ho, ho! Bro, I'm ready for the showdown! What is going on here? Where did this pirate fellow come from?
He looks like a completely different person.
Order! If we don't have order, Prosecutor Blackquill will yell at us.
Even Prosecutor Blackquill was at a loss for words.
So I plan to have that wench be a witness? Ah, you caught me out. It is me true, I thought that orca's murderous ways should be found out. That'd be why I schemed to have De Plume see the body.
So you admit it? You deliberately framed Orla?
It'd be true. But what skin be that off of anybody's nose? That orca be murdering scurvy dog. I may have a grudge against that orca, but I always felt grateful toward the captain. That orca murdered Azura and the captain, so of course she should walk the plank.
Yeah, I don't have a response to that. I agree it wouldn't make any sense for him to kill the owner. Why would he? But his hatred for Orla, on the other hand, comes through loud and clear. Wait a minute. If killing Mr. Shipley doesn't make sense, who would it make sense for Rhymes to kill? Maybe my theory has been all wrong. Your Honor, I think I just became aware of a new fact.
Oh, what's that?
Now that we know about Mr. Rhymes' intense hatred of Orla, it turns the premise we've been arguing under on its ear. I will now reveal the identity of the individual Mr. Rhymes meant to kill from the start, Orla.
What? So the witness's intent was to kill the orca?
Exactly. The witness's intended victim was not Jack Shipley. From the start, it was all a scheme to kill Orla.
The orca was his true target, but Jack Shipley is the one who died. The orca is alive and quite well.
He's right. He wanted to kill the orca, and yet it was Jack Shipley who fell to his death. How did that happen? Wait a minute. What if Mr. Rhymes wanting to kill Orla was somehow connected to Mr. Shipley's death?
At a loss for words, are you? What happened to your bravado of a moment ago? Enough of these reckless words without any basis in fact.
They aren't reckless words. The basis for my claim is at the real murder scene. The show pool.
What are you talking about?
It's my contention that two incidents happened at the show pool. The attempted murder of the orca and the victim falling to his death. First of all, in order to kill the orca, Mr. Rhymes removed something from the scene. And by doing so, he made it possible for Mr. Shipley to fall to his death.
He did what now? Mr. Wright, what did Mr. Rhymes remove in an attempt to kill Orla?
The water.
Don't tell me you're trying to claim he tried to kill the orca by draining the pool water.
That's exactly what I'm claiming. To help the defendant with the cleaning, Marlon Rhymes took charge of Orla, with the plan to kill Orla in the show pool. And because the pool water was drained, it made it possible for Jack Shipley to fall to his death in the show pool.
I tried to kill the orca, you say? Can you even prove there was nary a drop of water in the pool? That day, I was simply looking after the orca. Why would I have the monstrous thought of killing it?
You claim you were looking after Orla in the early morning hours of July 20th, but I don't think you were doing a very good job of it. After all, Orla wasn't given anything to eat during that time.
How would you know such a thing?
I know because of Orla's record here in the torpedo data system. This system continuously records data on the subjects it monitors. From Orla's record, we can tell exactly when she ate or didn't eat.
Sink me! Nobody ever told me about that dastardly contraption.
Only a few of the Shipshape Aquarium staff know about this system. According to Orla's record, she never ate in those early morning hours of the 20th. You planned to kill Orla, and that's why you didn't feed her.
You're wasting time. What proof do you have of that? Perhaps the orca simply wasn't hungry.
He's right. I don't have any proof. If Orla simply didn't eat, then that would create an inconsistency. Where did her fish go? Her fish? Good question. Where did it disappear to?
Fish? What does it matter? What relevance does it have to this case? Cease this stalling with inconsequential questions. Stop delving into the depths of the orca's stomach and delve into the case instead.
But wait, it may seem like a small inconsistency, but it's an issue of great importance, I think.
What are you driving at, Mr. Wright?
How could the fish disappear? Somebody must have eaten it. So who came to the show stage and ate Orla's fish? I think I might have a pretty good idea. I believe there must have been a visitor to the show stage that Mr. Rhymes didn't notice.
Visitor? Are you trying to introduce yet another suspect at this 11th hour? If you utter more of your careless remarks, Taka won't look favorably upon it.
I don't plan to utter any careless remarks. Whether my remarks will actually be related to the case or not, I don't yet know. Don't worry, boss. If Taka comes this way, I'll fend him off. But do try to keep your remarks careful. Somehow Orla's fish disappeared. Somebody must have visited the show stage, but who? This was the visitor to the show stage. Sasha Buckler. Rifle. It was, yeah. It was Rifle. I believe that Rifle the Penguin visited the show stage, and here's why we know. The sign. This is why we know.
First an orca and now a penguin? Why would you be saying such a thing, Mr. Lawyer?
I didn't see Rifle during the wee morning hours.
Do you have any proof Rifle visited the show stage? If you be a lawyer of any sort, show me your evidence.
The bottom of Rifle's feet were pink for some reason. That fact is a clue that Rifle was indeed at the show stage. I have to present that piece of evidence that connects Rifle to the show stage. Now to prove I'm a lawyer worth my salt. This is the proof that Rifle visited the show stage. Because she made it and left it out to dry. Because it's Orla Swashbuckler Spectacular.
Oh my! What a cute little sign! Look at all those adorable stars!
These stars are actually starfish. Miss Buckler painted this sign. In the early morning hours of the 20th, she left this sign at the show stage to dry. Mr. Rhymes kept an eye on the sign for Miss Buckler while the paint was drying.
Aye, that be true. But what be your point?
On this sign is proof that Rifle visited the show stage.
Proof of the penguin's visit? I'm afraid I don't see it. Where is this proof that the penguin visited the show stage? Please, point it out.
Yeah, right there. A couple of the pink starfish are shaped a little differently from the others.
Ah, you're right! They look almost like little leaves.
Rifle had pink paint on the bottom of her feet. These little leaf-like shapes on this sign are actually Rifle's footprints. Rifle made these footprints by walking on the sign before it was dry.
Oh ho! What cute little pink penguin prints!
So there are footprints. What of them?
Marlon Rhymes was watching over this sign at the show stage while the paint dried. And during that time, the penguin paid a visit. According to the torpedo data system, we know that Rifle ate something that morning of the 20th. Most likely, Rifle ate the fish meant for Orla that was at the show stage. Orla's snack was a small quantity of fish. Even a penguin could have eaten it all.
Begad, Rifle ate Orla's fish. Who be ye to say Rifle ate Orla's fish? She could have picked up food anywhere. But that doesn't change the fact that I really was at the show stage. After all, I had to help move the skull rock. It couldn't have been moved without me.
The witness claims he never saw the penguin. How do you explain this contradiction?
Both Mr. Rhymes and Rifle were at the show stage, but Mr. Rhymes didn't see her. So where could Mr. Rhymes have been at the time?
Right, don't know. If you aren't up to the task, I could disprove this witness's testimony for you.
If I leave it to Prosecutor Blackwell, Sasha will be declared guilty. I can't let him interrupt this line of reasoning. Mr. Wright, let's try to figure out how things looked when Rifle came to the show stage. Mr. Rhymes was at the show stage, keeping an eye on Orla and the sign. And we know it must be true because he helped move the skull rock. And then Rifle came in and walked over the sign. But wouldn't Mr. Rhymes notice Rifle if he was right there? Well, let's think about where Mr. Rhymes could have been. Is there a place in the show stage area from which Rifle couldn't have been seen? Uh-huh. The pool. The ladder, in fact. Is this it? What? Inside the pool? But you're right. If he was inside the pool, he wouldn't have noticed Rifle. So you're saying Mr. Rhymes was underwater the whole time Rifle was eating? No, not underwater. When I think about what he was trying to do, the answer is clear. Now I'm finally starting to get the whole picture.
Just like yesterday. Must you two always be whispering to each other? Why don't you admit that resorting to a penguin will get you nowhere?
Objection!
Oh, I don't know about that. The fact that Mr. Rhymes didn't notice Rifle is such a small inconsistency. But it's a key point that proves what Mr. Rhymes was trying to do.
The penguin is a key point.
The show stage pool is very deep. If Rifle came to visit while Mr. Rhymes was at the bottom of this pool, he would have never noticed Rifle. Ah! Orcas can be out of the water for a short time without sustaining damage, but if they're out of the water for a long time, they weaken and eventually die. In order to kill Orla, Mr. Rhymes had to drain the pool. And while the pool was drained of water, Mr. Shipley fell to his death. The show stage pool is about 65 feet deep, just like the Orca pool. Without water in the pool, a person could be made to fall 65 feet. Mr. Rhymes probably wondered what to do. If he continued with his plan to kill Orla, how would he dispense of Mr. Shipley's body? So he devised a plan to kill two birds with one stone. What? How? Mr. Rhymes went down to the bottom of the pool and put the victim's body in the rock. He then had Miss Buckler move the rock and the body together.
Silence.
And the witness made the defendant do this somehow without arousing her suspicion.
That's right. Mr. Shipley told Miss Buckler that she couldn't perform in the new show. Miss Buckler became upset and wanted to switch back to the old version of the show. So Mr. Rhymes conveniently suggested that she take and hide a prop for the new show. Mr. Rhymes then manipulated Orla using her singing and lifesaver tricks. He schemed to have Orla find the body while Mr. Plume be standing witness. He saddled Orla with the false charge of murder so that Orla would be put down.
What?
So the fact that the witness didn't see the penguin shows that when Rifle visited the show stage, Rhymes was putting the body in the rock. At the bottom of the pool, that is.
Who would have thought the presence of a penguin could prove the witness's action?
It's working. Just a little further now, and Sasha will be proven not guilty.
Silence.
If you think you've won this battle, you are sorely mistaken. The theory is based on the notion that the witness could manipulate the orca. Witness, can you control the orca's actions?
Of course not. What kind of bilge be that? I be but a simple animal keeper. If my memory serves, wasn't Miss Buckler the only one who could issue commands to the orca?
Wait. No, we got... hang on. We got the TV phone. Summer's boyfriend has videos of her using a whistle to make the orca do tricks.
The judge's blade is sharper than the lawyer's. If you wish to do battle with a witness, you'll need a honed blade. Where is your sword of evidence that Marlon Rhymes could manipulate the orca?
Ah!
Rhymes had to have manipulated Orla in order for his plan to work. But how can I prove it?
Well, it appears this line of reasoning has become unsustainable. Well, it appears that I was mistaken.
Athena? I've analyzed the hearts of all kinds of people. I have enough experience to see when I look into your heart that you haven't given up. So that objection was my way of speaking up for your heart. She's right. Why would I become a lawyer again, only to give up? I have to keep fighting. Athena, thank you. With your help, I've remembered the old right way. The right way? Your Honor, I'm not finished with presenting my argument.
Do you have anything else to ask this witness?
You've cross-examined all the witnesses and presented all your evidence.
All the witnesses? I don't think so. I haven't cross-examined the most important one. The central figure in both cases. Is this going where I think it's going?
The central figure?
The one involved in not only the case a year ago, but this current case too. I've never called her as a witness, but it's time to do so now.
Who are you talking about? I demand you tell the court immediately. Who is this central figure in both cases?
Your Honor, it is my honor to call the whale. Yes! The defense calls the central figure in both cases, Orla the Orca. Let's go!
You intend to cross-examine an orca? Ah, cross-examine an orca? You must be addled. It'll be impossible, says I.
Silence. This absurdity is beyond the pale. How do you expect to question an orca, a creature incapable of speech?
Orla is intricately involved in this case. I have every right to cross-examine her. Besides, even if she can't speak, I think cross-examining her will be invaluable.
Very well. Do what you will, then. But if you fail to garner anything from this little exercise with the orca, I hope you realize the reward for your efforts will be the defendant's guilty verdict.
I'm ready and confident. So, cross-examining Orla, huh? That was a bold move, boss. Now all I have to do is figure out how Mr. Rhymes manipulated Orla. That's right. Now it's Orla's turn to help us save Sasha.
An orca defendant yesterday, an orca witness today. This is truly unprecedented. But even though this is highly unusual, I'm prepared to allow it. Bailiff, ready the witness telecast. We'll have a 10-minute recess while the telecast is being set up.
Oh, man. Save progress. The truth about the past that we're going to learn from Orla the Orca. July 22nd, 11:21 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 3. Leave it to you to think of something like calling Orla, Mr. Wright. Well, she's the only one who knows all the answers, after all. I just talked to Pearls, and she said Orla seems to be feeling fine. Now we have to try and figure out how Mr. Rhymes manipulated Orla. If we put Mr. Rhymes and Orla together, maybe we can get some kind of clue. I can't forget about that strange set of prints on Rhymes' either. I really appreciate your trying to save both Orla and me. I had no idea Marlon hated Orla like that. I feel like I've been shocked by a torpedo ray.
Of course he would hate the killer whale that murdered his girlfriend right in front of him.
Oh, Mr. Plume, you've been watching the trial? Oh, yes. I came to make a declaration of war. A declaration of war?
No matter what the results of today's trial,
I will report the truth in my new book, even if that truth goes against what I wrote in The Killer Whale. I don't know what the truth is. Not even about what happened a year ago. Dr. Crab. Azura died right in front of my eyes, in the middle of a pirate show. She suddenly fell from the orca's back and began to thrash around in pain. The orca was singing a song, and then started headbutting Azura over and over. Finally, the orca took Azura in her mouth and brought her to the side of the pool.
Just before she died, Azura was holding her chest in obvious pain.
Wait, whoa. Wait. Where's that medicine that we gave, Sasha? Because they said that Azura and Sasha have the same heart condition. Right? Yeah. 22. Yeah. She was holding her chest. Wait a minute. Could it be? Yeah, I think it is. I don't think Orla was to blame for the incident a year ago either.
What?
I think the cause of Miss Summers' death might have been her heart condition. Yes, thank you, Phoenix.
Heart condition? What heart condition? I never heard anything about it.
Miss Summers had a prescription with Hickfield Clinic for a heart condition. The Orca didn't kill her. I think it's possible her heart condition did.
What? Azura had a heart condition too? I guess she hid it from everybody. Just like I did. So that means the Orca was innocent a year ago too.
It's just a theory, but I think the Orca headbutted Azura to check on her, and then did the lifesaver trick to rescue her.
So there was no need to put the Orca down after all.
So you really did intend to put Orla down?
No. Jack and I were against such a thing from the start. But you said you were going to euthanize the Orca.
Yeah, I've been wondering about that. Dr. Crab, about this capsule, it's not a poison, but a sleeping drug, right?
That's right. Even if Orla attacks someone, or even if the Center for Dangerous Animal Control demands she be put down, I never had any intention of killing her. I would use sleeping pills to make it look like she was dead, and then set her free. And that's why I purchased so many sleeping capsules.
Oh, that's why?
I never considered the possibility that that poor woman's death was illness.
She seems pretty disturbed to be wrong. You mean an investigative journalist would write an entire book that's just a bunch of conjecture and lies that's poorly researched?
I simply want to know the truth. That is why I will tell you who my client is. The day I witnessed the owner's death, I was there at the request of the animal keeper.
Marlon Rhymes?
That's correct. That day, my client called me to investigate the orca pool.
He must have wanted you to witness what Orla was going to do. Why did you decide to tell us this?
My desire to protect my client was standing in the way of the truth. I couldn't allow that.
Wait, your desire to protect... Are you Shelley the Killer in a very good disguise?
I will be watching to see how this all unfolds. Good luck to you, blue and yellow duo.
This game suddenly got really weird by suggesting that a journalist could be wrong. Let's go back to something more grounded, like cross-examining an orca. Yes, thank you. I agree.
Well, that was quite a bombshell she just dropped, and so casually, too.
That woman really is a free spirit.
Do you remember what you said yesterday, Mr. Lawyer? That you'd expose any secret if it would help save Sasha?
I remember. My duty as a lawyer.
Well, I just wanted you to know that I don't blame you for exposing the aquarium secret. It may put me in hot water, but if it helps save the orca, let me clue you in another secret. Focus on the orca's song.
The orca's song, huh? What could he be hinting at? Oh, I know. Oh, Mr. Wright! Looks like it's time. All right, let's go back in. What he's hinting at, I'm pretty sure here, is the fact that there's two different songs. The song on the video is different from the one DePlume heard. So there are two different orca songs, is what we're talking about here. And I think one of them has one response and another has another response.
You've got it, boss. We're gonna go in there and save Sasha and Orla together.
Because DePlume said she heard the song she heard a year ago. Oh, there's the TV. On July 22nd, 11:30 a.m., District Court, courtroom number 4.
The court will now reconvene. Is the witness, Aura Shipley, commonly known as Orla, ready?
Well, the orca is present, but I highly doubt she understands what's going on.
Ho ho, just as adorable as yesterday.
I distinctly remember you being afraid of her on several occasions.
Now then, Mr. Wright, how do you propose to cross-examine the witness?
I intend to have the young lady there with Orla help me. Hello, everyone.
That young lady? Didn't I meet her once before, a long time ago?
Yes, that's Pearl Fay, my old friend.
Well, well, didn't she grow up to be a lovely young lady? Ah!
I have no interest in this chit-chat. On with the cross-examination.
Mr. Wright, this is all your fault. Why are you dawdling?
How is this my fault?
The court will now hear the testimony of Aura Shipley.
How Orla was manipulated. Mm-hmm. 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 Word click. Fweet fweet. Fweet. Fweet fweet. Yes.
Mr. Wright,
Yes, Your Honor.
do you seriously intend to cross-examine this orca?
Well, she is a key witness for the defense, after all, sir.
Every time you come to my courtroom, you open my eyes to a new way of thinking. It appears this will be another one of those times.
Yes, he's given me the go-ahead. I'd now like to put the witness and Mr. Rhymes together to see how he manipulated the orca. Hopefully, Orla will have some kind of reaction.
Arr, fine by me. But not will happen, I tell you.
Mr. Rhymes is right. Nothing happened. I guess I shouldn't have expected it to be so easy. How did he manipulate her?
Right, Dono, hope you realize that if you can't prove with this cross-examination how Rhymes controlled the orca, your defendant will be declared guilty immediately.
Yes, I realize that. This is my last chance. I have to figure out how Rhymes commanded Orla to do her tricks.
Please begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright.
Alright. How Orla was manipulated. Alright, let's start pressing. Miss Shipley, I'm afraid Freet is not going to get us anywhere.
This is your plan of action. If you are incapable of interpreting orca speech, this entire exercise is folly.
You leave the interpretation of Orla's heart to me. Alright, girl, what you gotta say? Let me hear it. Oh, Orla, you're so cute.
Right, Dono. Surely you don't intend to continue this farce?
I do. Miss Shipley, please continue with your testimony. Could you interpret that for the court, Miss Sykes? I'm getting a strong reading of happiness. Maybe she thinks she's doing a show.
I demand serious witness testimony. This is no time for fun and games. If you continue this muckery, I will subject you to 40 lashes with a wet fish.
Not a wet noodle. That just sounds fishy. Hey, speaking from experience, anything is better than 40 lashes from a whip. Ho ho! Holy Francisca.
The defense will please caution its witness to conduct herself with propriety.
Instead of impersonating a one orca band, could you show us the lifesaver trick? I guess Orla won't do what you want unless you give her the proper signal. Oh, doesn't Orla sing beautifully?
Taka's singing voice is much more melodic and clear.
Neither one should quit their day job. Please continue your testimony, Miss Shipley. Miss Shipley seems to want to communicate something. Perhaps she's hungry. Miss Fay, could you give Miss Shipley a snack? Certainly. One moment.
What a heartwarming scene! It reminds me of my granddaughter with her pet.
Wow, your granddaughter must have a pretty large pet.
Stop all this pet prattle and get on with the cross-examination.
Yeah, but she's such an adorable creature. I never get tired of looking at her. Silence.
I, on the other hand, have had more than my fill of this tomfoolery. Enough is enough!
It sounds like Prosecutor Blackwell is about to blow his top. What should I do? Should I continue the cross-examination? Here's the question. If we continue the cross-examination, will that give us a chance to use the TV phone, which I know is what we need to use. Let's stop here and see what happens. I'm done playing games. I will now explain how Orla was manipulated by Mr. Rhymes. In order to respond to a command, Orla needs to hear the sound of a whistle. But Mr. Rhymes isn't a trainer. I doubt he'd know how to give the signal himself. So that means he must have had help. So how did Mr. Rhymes issue commands to Orla? Through the TV phone. Sasha told me an interesting story about Miss Summers. Zora used to send her boyfriend videos of herself teaching the orca tricks. I used to help Zora take the videos on her TV phone. Most likely, Mr. Rhymes still has these videos of Miss Summers. Miss Fay, did I ask for your help? Of course, Mr. Nick. What is it? You're using Mr. Rhymes' TV phone, correct? I'd like you to examine it for me. Please look for videos of Azura Summers issuing whistle commands to Orla. Videos? I'm not too sure how to do that, but I'll give it a try. My apologies to Marlon.
Right, Dono? What are you up to?
You'll see in a moment if Pearls can find those videos for me. Mr. Nick, I found them. I found some videos like you described. You did? Thank you, Miss Fay. Just as I suspected. How did Marlon Rhymes get Orla to do those tricks? I will now show you. With Mr. Rhymes' cell phone.
His cell phone? Are you implying he used an app?
Miss Fay, see if you can issue Orla a command. Me? Can I do such a thing? You might be able to if you play a video with a whistle signal in it. If there's a video of the lifesaver trick, please play that. Before you do, though, please put the practice dummy in the pool. The practice dummy? Alright. In it goes. There. It sank to the bottom. Now I'll play a video. Orla's diving down, heading straight for the dummy. Hee, what a smart girl you are, Orla. The lifesaver trick was a complete success, Mr. Nick. Thank you, Miss Fay. You were a big help. Now I have proof.
Unbelievable. You actually pulled it off.
That was the lifesaver trick we saw yesterday. Is Miss Fay an orca trainer now?
No, Your Honor. I'll explain after we try one more trick. Now let's see if we can command Orla to do the singing trick. Miss Fay, If there's a video of the singing trick, please play that. Certainly. Let's see. Is it this video? Oh my, isn't she wonderful? That was the Swashbuckler Spectacular song.
Oh, what a lovely singing voice.
It wasn't bad.
And by the way, how did Miss Faye give the orca those commands?
Marlon Rhymes has something on his phone that his girlfriend Azura Summers sent him. There are videos of Miss Summers issuing commands to Orla with a whistle. If they have Orla listen to the sounds of the signals, anyone at all could command Orla.
Oh my! Anyone at all?
Yes, I believe so, Your Honor. All they would have to do is play those videos.
Mr. Wright, please submit those videos as evidence.
I'm getting the sneaking suspicion the judge just wants to try it out for himself. Miss Faye, could you send those videos to the TV phone here? All right, certainly. Got him. All right, I'll try playing one. Ah, okay. So this was a training session a year ago, huh? But wait a minute. There's something about that song that bothers me. Yeah.
If the orca can be commanded using videos on a cell phone, then that means that Marlon Rhymes could have manipulated the creature.
Mr. Rhymes, you can't talk your way out of it now.
Silence.
I have to commend you. That was very good proof. I concede Marlon Rhymes could have manipulated the orca, but isn't it true that the defendant would have done it as well? All she would have to do is use the whistle she knows how to use so well, and she wouldn't have had to use those videos. Surely you admit it's a possibility. She could have easily had Norma de Plume witness the singing and the lifesaver trick.
So he's trying to argue it was equally possible for Sasha as it was for Rhymes, is he? But is that true? Let me think about that for a minute. That's right, those weren't just cries, it was singing. As I approached the pool, the killer whale suddenly started singing. It sang the Swashbuckler Spectacular song. And she said later it was a terrible sounding song. The culprit made sure Mr. Plume heard the song and saw the lifesaver trick. Could Sasha have shown those two tricks to the witness? No. Because she did not know the old song. No, I don't think Miss Buckler could have created the same conditions as the culprit.
You challenge me to a battle. I hope your sword is sharpened. Let me see those sword skills of yours.
Don't you worry. My sword is drawn and ready. My sword is evidence that the two tricks couldn't have been shown at the same time. Yeah, because she did at one point tell us she can't do two tricks at the same time. Mr. Plume said in her testimony that she witnessed these two tricks at the same time. However, that fact is inconsistent with how Orla performs tricks.
How Orla performs tricks? What are you talking about?
Orla can't perform two tricks at once. She performs only one trick per whistle signal. That's how she's been trained.
In other words, it would be just like with a dog. If you tell him to both sit and shake, he won't do them at the same time. Am I understanding it correctly?
Yes, that's the idea, Your Honor. I wonder if the judge has a dog.
What a farce! So are you saying that the witness somehow managed to produce an impossible scenario?
Arr, if the creature's own trainer couldn't do it, how could I?
Yes, it's a mystery, isn't it? Boss, you don't have to agree so cheerfully.
The defense is claiming that Marlon Rhymes manipulated the orca. But if you cannot explain fully how this was done, your argument doesn't hold water. If you can't straighten out your own theory, would you like me to straighten you out?
No, thank you. So Orla can't do 2 tricks at a time, but Mr. Plume saw her do it. This logical inconsistency means there's a flaw somewhere. Was Mr. Plume lying? Or is it not true that Orla can't do 2 tricks at the same time? Oh, but Mr. Plume had no reason to lie about such a thing. It really is impossible for Orla to perform 2 tricks at once. Then maybe either the lifesaver trick or the singing trick was faked?
Faked?
Yes, maybe Orla only performed 1 of the tricks, but it was made to look like she performed 2.
Silence.
Maybe. How do you expect to conduct a sword battle with conjecture?
Sounds like I'd better present some evidence here and fast.
Although I am concerned about your profuse sweating, Mr. Wright, allow me to ask you, which of the 2 was faked? The lifesaver trick or the singing trick?
Okay, let's think about that. So let's see here. The lifesaver trick is... let's think. If Marlon is the culprit, we have video of Orla both doing the lifesaver trick and the singing trick. The video we saw was her doing the singing trick. So, of the 2, which one well, hang on. Deplume said that the song that she heard was the old song, which Orla sings, hang on, in the video. Wait, no. Can we hear it again? Let's hear it again. It's hard to make out. Summer is just having the orca do tricks such as lifesaver and singing. The song in the video is different from the one in the show now. Okay. Maybe it's not lifesaver and it's actually life shaver. Oh no. That's a terrible, yeah. Draining HP from her enemies. Alright, I'm gonna say the song is what is funky here. Because I mean, it's hard to fake because she obviously grabbed the guy and put him up top, just like she did with the dummy. The song, though, I think is different. The defense wishes to argue that the singing trick was faked.
And on what grounds do you base your assertion that the singing trick was faked?
Is it the phone? Or is it the swashbuckler video? That's always like a funky one. Oh. Well, we're going off of what DePlume said, which is that she said that it was the old song that she heard. And Orla is singing the new song, now. This is a recording of a recent Swashbuckler Spectacular. In this recording, Orla sings the same song she sang for Miss Fate earlier. But Mr. Plume said this song is different from the one that was sung a year ago.
The song is different?
Please listen to the song in the video from a year ago sent to this cell phone. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, it sounds quite different from the song Orla sang for Miss Faye earlier.
And yet, this is the same video Miss Faye used to issue the command to Orla to sing, by having Mr. Plume listen to the song recorded in the cell phone video. The true culprit made Mr. Plume think Orla was singing the song from a year ago. Only Marlon Rhymes, the owner of the cell phone video, could have done this.
Silence.
But Mr. Plume said she heard the orca singing right in front of her. How do you claim he made her think that? How was the song recording played?
I intend to explain that too, of course.
What?
The answer lies somewhere in the Orca Pool Visitors Corridor. Marlon Rhymes played the song recording by using this. The speaker. Mr. Plume heard the song while she was in the Orca Pool Visitors Corridor. There's a speaker in that corridor, so that visitors can hear the orca's sounds.
And you claim the song was played from that speaker? How?
Here's how Rhymes played the song over the speaker in the visitors corridor. The walkie-talkie. Yeah. Mr. Rhymes could broadcast the song in the video to the speaker by using a walkie-talkie. And he could get Orla to do a trick by letting her hear Miss Summer's whistle signal too. He played the singing through the speaker, and he made Orla do the lifesaver trick. All of this was the doing of the true culprit, Marlon Rhymes.
Gah!
This is what you did, isn't it, Mr. Rhymes?
Yeah. Ah!
I love how he just starts bleeding. You did it! Now we can save both Sasha and Orla. Just leave it to the Captain Wright swashbuckling lawyers to win any case. I don't remember agreeing to that name.
So it actually was possible for Mr. Rhymes to manipulate the orca. I'm stunned. I see. We will need more to hear more from this witness.
Mr. Rhymes, the time has come for you to tell the court the truth.
So I used a walkie-talkie, you see. Sorry, but you're dead wrong, me bucko. It'd be impossible, says I.
What do you mean, impossible?
I shall sing ye a little shanty dissing your scurvy theory. Hark ye well now.
Okay. The Dissin of Phoenix Wright.
Yo, walkie-talkie be broke for real. Mr. Lawyer's freestyle got no appeal. Broke before the plume on the scene. Broke before Wright could ever dream. Legit goof during cleaning time, eh? But Bill Chuck and Lawyer spitting lies. Then orca, you don't listen to me, Kay. Kill the cat. You so cray, cray. Here we go again with that flip-flop music.
Broken? Of all the flimsy excuses, build sucking, that was uncalled for. You probably broke it on purpose after the fact.
That be untrue, little lassie. Although I can't prove when it really was. Lucky be it for me, ye lawyers be the ones who have the proving to do.
After everything we've uncovered, he still won't admit it. Somehow I have to prove that he still could have done it. Alright. The Dissident of Phoenix Wright. His walkie-talkie was broke. Okay, what else? Broke before Duplume was on the scene, before Wright could ever... Okay. You legit goofed during cleaning time. Alright. You don't listen to me, okay. Kill the cat. Okay. Well, let's go. Mr. Rhymes, are you sure it was your walkie-talkie that was broken?
Of course I be sure, although it doesn't have me name written on it or anything. But you can't prove it be not me walkie-talkie, now can ye?
I'll never save Sasha this way. I have to figure out how we got a command to Orla.
If Rhymes couldn't get a command to the Orca, your theory crumbles. Everything you've done will all go up in smoke.
I be not on the prosecution side neither, mind ye. And the defendant be innocent, says I. But either way, me walkie-talkie was broken, and that be the truth.
Okay. Broke before the plume was on the scene. Alright. Do you have some way of proving that statement?
Silence.
The burden of proof is on you. If you can't do that, then we can end this cross-examination right now.
Ugh.
Oh no.
Ahoy! Yo, 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 ho! Proof that it broke? Bro, you a joke. Lag even a second and you gon' choke. Right wanna press on every word? Nope, judge gonna judge undeterred. You gonna front, then bring the pain. Or stop and walk away in shame. Oh, he makes me so mad. We gotta come up with our own freestyle, boss.
Let's get him back with evidence instead, shall we? No singing.
Witness, please continue your testimony about the walkie-talkie.
Legit goofed. Okay. You made a big blunder? What happened?
After I helped Sasha with the cleaning, I dropped it by accident and broke it.
You wish to see it? I still have it with me.
It does indeed appear to be broken.
Hey, with me walkie-talkie broken, there'd be no way I could have done what you said.
I couldn't have given the Orca any commands.
Oh, your walkie-talkie broke. Isn't that just so convenient? Mr. Rhymes, I think you broke it on purpose.
Miss Lawyer, none of your false accusations, if you please.
I broke it on purpose. Where be your proof? I don't have any proof. This walkie-talkie was broken. It throws a monkey wrench into my whole theory. When he let Pearls borrow his cell phone so casually yesterday, he must have already been confident I wouldn't be able to prove anything.
Oh, you'll ne'er get me to agree that that poxed Orca be innocent. If something be done undone about her, she'll get Sasha one day too. The Orca killed the captain, it weren't me.
So you intend to continue to claim that the defendant is innocent, do you? But I won't stand for that. Now then, Dono, what's your next move?
Your Honor, I would like to examine that walkie-talkie if you don't mind.
Well, certainly. Here you go.
Let's see if there's any way to tell when the walkie-talkie was broken. If he gave Orla that command, then it couldn't have been broken at the time. Well, let's see. I can use, yes, and space to examine, right. Zoom in and out. Alright. That's off. Huh? Look at these. They look like tooth marks. Hey, you're right. A bite this big. I wonder if it was Orla. Wait, a walkie-talkie with tooth marks. Didn't we hear a story like that just yesterday? It was the walkie-talkie Azura used right up until her death. Yep, there it is right there. In the middle of the show, the Orca brought Azura up to the surface in her mouth. She left tooth marks in Azura's walkie-talkie. The captain said he always kept that walkie-talkie with him, so he'd never forget. Yep. Rhyme said this walkie-talkie was his, but could it be?
Not odd about it, don't you agree? Arr, time to give it up, Mr. Lawyer. Forget the Orca. Just save Sasha, says I.
I can't do that. Now that I'm finally a lawyer again, how could I hold my head up if I made my client so miserable?
A stubborn one you be.
Orca. Let's see, broke. So, let's see. Legit goofed. We tried pressing him, but it didn't change anything. Oh, I don't know about that. His statements might not have changed, but the meaning of one of them may have. Really? You caught something? And that one statement just might be the breakthrough that we need. Okay. What statement is that? Walkie-talkie. Wait a minute. This one? Let's see. Are you sure it was your walkie-talkie? You could have stolen a broken walkie-talkie from somebody else. Yep. If you be accusing me of thievery, let me see your proof. Alright. This evidence tells who you stole the walkie-talkie from. Walkie-talkie. What's this one? Shipley's walkie-talkie hasn't been found. Wait a minute. It's gone. Yeah. Yeah, this is it. According to the defendant's statement, Mr. Shipley talked to her on his walkie-talkie before his death. However, no walkie-talkie was found near the victim's body. Methinks the police just didn't look hard enough. Besides, the captain's walkie-talkie wasn't broken, be that not right? So his walkie-talkie has not to do with mine. I'm not so sure that's true. The victim fell to his death. It's quite possible his walkie-talkie broke in the fall. You stole the walkie-talkie after the victim's death, didn't you, Mr. Rhymes?
I will not allow such leading questions, right, Dono? If you claim the walkie-talkie belonged to the victim, show me your evidence.
Certainly, I plan on doing just that. Please look at these tooth marks here on the walkie-talkie.
Tooth marks? Oh, yes, I see them.
The victim's walkie-talkie was a keepsake that used to belong to Azura Summers, who died a year ago. These tooth marks were left by Orla when she carried Miss Summers in her mouth.
If this is Mr. Shipley's walkie-talkie, then Mr. Rhymes' walkie-talkie is still unaccounted for, which means he could have used it to command the Orca after all.
And that's not all, Your Honor. The only one who could have taken the victim's walkie-talkie is the culprit himself. The fact that Marlon Rhymes had the victim's walkie-talkie is proof that he murdered Jack Shipley.
Ah!
Not so fast, Mr. Lawyer. What? He still won't admit it? This walkie-talkie be mine, says I. Then how do you explain the tooth marks on it? I've had many the run-in with that orca myself. She bit me more than once, and me walkie-talkie too. Evidence of our fights are carved here into me body.
My goodness, I can clearly see the tooth mark scars in your skin.
What? Are those really scars from being bitten by Orla?
Hoy! Yo, yo, ho, ho! You want answers? I got some, mate. These scars from Orla, that's right. Them girl can put up a nasty fight. That orca bit me and left me scarred. Had a rep to protect, so I went in hard. So, Mr. Lawyer, I win, just being frank. Orla, ha! You get the plank.
I can't let him run this show. I have to find a way to prove the walkie-talkie belonged to the victim. And you can forget about fingerprints. I always keep me walkie-talkie clean and polished. This man had everything worked out before he even took the stand. But I won't give up. There has to be a way. Mr. Wright, I found something interesting. The tooth marks on the walkie-talkie. You noticed anything funny about them? Funny? Funny how? Something's different about them compared to the other tooth marks we've seen. Yeah, hang on. I noticed that too. There's 5, and then there's like a place where there's no tooth there. And the only ones I remember are the ones on the practice dummy. Yeah. It's just a tiny difference. It might not even mean anything. Right now, we need to consider every possibility we can, no matter how small. If I can figure out what's different about the bite marks, maybe I can somehow prove Rhymes' walkie-talkie actually belonged to the victim. Think, Phoenix. You can turn everything around right here and now. Alright. Time to review the facts we have so far. With the intent of killing Orla, Rhymes drained the show stage pool. But Rhymes failed to kill Orla, and instead, he tried to pin Shipley's murder, Orla. In order to manipulate Orla, Rhymes must have used a cell phone and a walkie-talkie. But the walkie-talkie Rhymes has is broken. I think it's the victim's walkie-talkie. The one he kept is a memento of Azura Summers. I have to find a way to prove that it is indeed the victim's walkie-talkie. Which piece of evidence left on the walkie-talkie to prove it belonged to the victim? The tooth mark. We have two pieces of evidence with tooth marks, the walkie-talkie and the dummy. What's striking about these two pieces of evidence? The tooth marks are different. When I look closely, I see two different bite mark patterns. Two variations, huh? Wasn't there a trick of Orla's that had two different variations as well? The show song. A year ago, the Orca's song and teeth marks were different from what they are now. What could be the cause of these two inconsistencies? Wait! Two different Orcas? It's behind the fact that the Orca's tooth marks and song were different a year ago. It's a different Orca. Oh my gosh, it's a different Orca. There are two different Orcas. I'm starting to think there are two different Orcas, the one a year ago and Orla now. And if the Orca a year ago wasn't Orla, it means the bite mark on the walkie-talkie isn't Orla's, like Rhymes said it was. Now I can finally prove the walkie-talkie belongs to the victim.
Mr. Wright, you appear to be lost in thought there. Is everything all right? You look like you did a Danganronpa-esque minigame just now.
I just realized something astonishing, Your Honor.
Your face is what's astonishing, right, Dono?
Your rudeness is what's astonishing, Prosecutor Blackwell.
And what is this astonishing thing you realized?
Until just now, I thought the Orca at Chip Shape Aquarium a year ago and Orla were the same Orca. However, two inconsistencies led me to a new fact. And that fact is that there might be two Aura Shipleys.
What? Two different Orcas?
But that's impossible.
Order in the court!
Explain yourself. What is the basis for this preposterous claim?
The Orca's show song a year ago and then one now are different. I believe it's because the Orca a year ago was a different Orca. Two different Orcas, two different songs. It explains the show song contradiction.
What be this bilgewater talk? I don't understand.
I'm talking about the truth. Truth that will finally catch you out in your lies. You claimed the tooth marks on the walkie-talkie were Orla's, but that's not true. The two different bite mark patterns on the walkie-talkie and on the dummy proves this.
What? Two different patterns, you say?
Well, I will concede there is a possibility that two different Orcas exist. Bite mark patterns alone are not proof enough. I want more conclusive evidence.
Alright, I will show you conclusive evidence then. If he wants to see evidence other than the bite mark patterns, does he? The Orca a year ago and Orla have different songs and different teeth. Don't I have two videos on hand that can be used to compare those differences? I will now submit two videos with which the different songs and teeth can be compared. Swashbuckler video, and here's the other, the TV phone. Please compare these two videos, one from a year ago and one recent. As discussed, the two Orcas are singing two different songs. Please also pay special attention to the appearance of the two Orcas' teeth.
How exactly do you claim their teeth are different?
Let's look for shots in the two videos where the orca's teeth are shown. This is Orla in the recent video of the Swashbuckler Spectacular Pirate Show. As you can see, she has all of her teeth.
What a healthy smile she has. I'm a bit envious.
Next, let's look at the TV phone video from a year ago. Just as I thought, their teeth are different.
Oh, I believe this smile looks a little different from the one we saw a moment ago.
As you can see, the orca from a year ago has one tooth that's broken off.
If the teeth are different, then
Yes, if the teeth are different, they of course leave different bite mark patterns. On the practice dummy, you can see Orla's uniform pattern with all teeth intact. And on the walkie-talkie, you can see that one tooth is missing from the pattern.
I see it. Just like the smile of the orca in last year's video.
If the bite doesn't fit, you must acquit. That's right. The tooth marks on the walkie-talkie were not made by the orca we know as Orla. They were made a year ago by a different orca.
Two different orcas. I can't believe it.
The statement that the tooth marks on the walkie-talkie were from Orla was a lie. The truth is, this walkie-talkie was stolen from the victim, Jack Chipley. And the only person who could have stolen it is the true culprit, Marlon Rhymes.
No, you got it all wrong. It'd be all the fault of that orca. Oh. Huh. You got it all wrong. Blimey. It'd be the orca's fault. This can't be. Ah! Once again, I'm too weak to help anybody. Well, it would appear we should hear more from the defendant about Aura Shipley. Sasha Buckler. Yes, Captain Judge. Is what Mr. Wright claims true? Are there two different orcas?
The secret that Shipshape Aquarium was hiding was about Orla, wasn't it? Dr. Crab told me to focus on the orca's song. He hinted it would be a clue. Phoenix is right. The one we call Orla is the second Aura Shipley. There actually used to be two orcas at the Shipshape Aquarium. I used to call the first Aura Shipley just Aura for short. Aura and Orla are sisters. The captain rescued them both when they got beached on the shore. But Orla was in bad shape, and the ship's doctor had to look after her for a long time. Both orcas loved the captain. We decided to keep them on at Shipshape Aquarium.
why didn't you say anything about there being two orcas?
Well, because after the accident a year ago, Aura was put down.
What? Aura's dead?
Yeah, the Center for Dangerous Animal Control demanded it. Apparently the captain and the ship's doctor begged them. We put the first one down, so please leave the second one alone, they said. Anyway, after the accident a year ago, the captain told us he was going to put Orla in the pirate show as Aura Shipley. He asked us to keep quiet about Aura's death until the time was right.
What a surprising and complex tale. Did all Shipshape Aquarium employees know about this?
No, just a select few of us.
Mr. Rhymes, did you know about it?
Of course not. How would I? Tell me, Mr. Rhymes, did you plan on killing Orla from the start? Yeah, I planned to do it during the cleaning. So I drained the pool. I figured if we didn't do something about that beast,
Sasha's life was in danger. Sasha trusted that orca just as much as Azura did. I wanted to protect her. I couldn't help Azura, so I felt like protecting Sasha was the least I could do. My duty. I built up my strength so I'd be ready to kill that orca. I even fought with sharks. But the captain realized my plan and tried to save the orca.
And that is why you killed Jack Shipley? Now the report from the crime lab finally makes sense.
Report from the crime lab.
In court yesterday, you will recall, I showed a photo of the victim lying on his back. According to the lab, the bruise on the victim's right wrist was Rhymes' handprint.
His handprint?
I didn't know how it fit in with the case until I heard Rhymes' story just now. But now we can imagine the reason for it being there. Rhymes must have made the handprint when he fought with the victim over the orca.
A handprint made during a struggle.
I don't care what happens to me anymore. I deserve the death penalty. I'm the one that killed the captain. Please, give Sasha her not guilty verdict.
You accept your defeat? Well, I see. Let me be your guide. To hell. Get on with the verdict, your boldness.
It seems this unprecedented trial that began with an orca as the defendant has finally come to a close.
Sasha's saved. Orla's gonna be so happy. Not. There's something up here. Sasha's not guilty verdict is coming. Why do I still have this strange nagging feeling? Rhymes' handprint on the victim's right wrist. Was it really the result of a deadly struggle over the orca? No, because of this. His hand is down. He was trying to save him. I can't shake the feeling that handprint has some other hidden meaning. Is this trial going to end without revealing the whole truth?
Very well. This court finds the defendant, Sasha Buckler. Hold it!
Your Honor, please hold off on that verdict.
Mr. Wright, what is the meaning of this?
I would like to further explore this new evidence the prosecution just submitted.
But what complaint could you have? You're about to get your not guilty verdict.
I see no need to further prolong this trial, Mr. Wright.
Your Honor, we still don't know the entire truth of this case. This unnatural handprint Mr. Rhymes left on the victim's right wrist. I don't think it was the result of a fight between the two men.
Not the result of a fight?
Then what do you suggest it was?
Boss, what are you doing? Do you remember that evidence we found at the show stage? Evidence? What evidence? That mysterious mark might be the key to understanding the whole case. Your Honor, the defense would like to submit evidence that will expose the truth of this case. A mysterious piece of evidence that pairs with Mr. Rhymes' unnatural handprint, letterprints. Marlon Rhymes left behind a very unusual set of fingerprints at the show stage.
In what way were they unusual?
They were right-hand prints on the left-hand side of the ladder. If one were to grasp the ladder in the same way as the prints, it would look like this.
It looks like the ladder is being grasped from above.
Exactly, Your Honor. And the handprint on the victim's right wrist shows it was held with a powerful grip. Marlon Rhymes grasped the show stage ladder in an unnatural pose. If he was gripping the victim's wrist in this position...
Gripping the victim's wrist?
Then he must have been...
It means Mr. Rhymes was actually... That's right. If we couple the unnatural handprint with the mysterious fingerprints... we see that Marlon Rhymes was trying to save the victim's life.
What?
But that can't be. It's impossible.
Why don't we ask Mr. Rhymes himself?
Yeah,
Mr. Rhymes, we want to hear the truth directly from you.
I gotta hand it to you, Mr. Lawyer. You got skills. Why'd you have to figure it out? It doesn't matter what happens to me anymore. I'm ready to die. So is what the defense is claiming true? The captain, he found out I drained the Stojo State pool. He rushed to the side of the pool, frantic to put some water in for the orca. And then he slipped. Captain, give me your left hand.
No, Marlin. You'll fall too. Forgive me, Marlin. I didn't realize what deep pain you were in. But please don't blame Orla. It's nobody's fault. Not Orla's. And not yours.
Hey! Captain! So, Jack Shipley's death was accidental. Why didn't you tell us that you didn't kill the victim? Because I have no right to live anymore. I'm ready to get the death penalty. The captain died because of me. And then on top of it all, I used his body to frame Orla. I was gonna kill Orla, and she wasn't even to blame. She didn't do anything wrong. The only thing I can do now is pay for it all with my life. I can't do anything. I couldn't save the captain. I couldn't avenge Azora's death.
Mr. Rhymes, you have the wrong idea about Miss Summer's death. Not even the first Aura Shipley was responsible for her dying. Aura, of her own accord, was trying to save Miss Summers' life.
What? What are you talking about?
Azura Summers suffered from a heart condition, but she didn't tell anyone and she performed in the pirate show anyway. She had a heart attack and died before anyone could save her. I'm sure she didn't think Aura attacked her. There's nothing to avenge.
No way. Heart condition? She never said a word about it.
Maybe she didn't want you to worry about her.
So I wanted to get revenge all this time. For nothing. So neither case was murder? Not a year ago? And not this time either. Your responsibility in this matter is great. But I believe you can be rehabilitated. Marlin, you better come back to Ship Aquarium when you're done, you hear? Orla and I and everybody will be waiting for you.
You still have a lot to offer, Mr. Rhymes. Live your life and never give up. For the sake of those who are gone as well.
I promise to make up for what I've done. Even if it takes my whole life. Mr. Wright. Sasha. Thank you. Well, I have seen countless trials, but never one that ended like this. I don't know how, Mr. Wright, but you always seem to manage to turn things around. I think all this excitement has taken a few years off of my life.
Is that praise or a diss?
But now then, this court finds the defendant, Sasha Buckler, not guilty. Court is now adjourned.
July 22nd, 5:11 p.m. Shipshape Aquarium. Orca Pool. Congratulations on your win. Thank you for all your help today, Pearls. All I did was have fun with Orla. Orla, I'm back. Oh, I missed you, girl. Oh, I'm so happy for you and Orla, Sasha. Everything turned out great. Phoenix, Athena, I really want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Orla and I are both really grateful. I will now act out my gratitude with a little performance. Arr. Miss Orca Lover, don't you think you'd better take care of your health first? Alright, fine. I promise, no more shows until I'm better. I don't want anybody to worry about me after all. Good. I'm glad that's settled. Hey, buddy, Mr. Lawyer. You just had to blab every single one of the aquarium secrets, didn't you? I'm sorry, Dr. Crab. Nah, that's alright. I'm glad. It was kinda hard to tell. Although, thanks to you, they now know we're all using the illegal torpedo system. But I think we'll be able to wriggle out of some serious repercussions somehow. That writer lady is advocating for us, saying the law itself is to blame. She said she's gonna look into getting the law changed. Wow, go Mr. Plume. She sure is a powerhouse. There's one thing you didn't figure out, by the way. Keep this to yourself, will ya? We don't want it getting out publicly. Remember that appointment I had written down in my calendar? Oh, you mean meet the captain at the Orca Pool at 7 a.m.? That note meant the Orca Pool of the Supermarine Aquarium, not Shipshape's. What? Why were you supposed to meet there? Jack and we visited the Supermarine Aquarium once a month. Any idea why? To get dolphin therapy treatment? No, silly! Remember I told you? Jack and I were against putting the orca down from the start. What? You mean... We just pretended to put forced Aura Shipley down. The Supermarine Aquarium is harboring her for us. What? Oh, so that talk about large amounts of money you were paying them. Yeah, once a month, the owner and the vet disappear from this aquarium. And I came to find out that each time a large amount of money was being paid out. We were paying for Orla's care. You wouldn't believe how much fish orcas eat. Now that it's been proven she was innocent all along, I think we can bring her back soon. Until then, keep it under your hat, okay? Huh? What was he telling you about? Oh, nothing much. By the way, Orla wants you to give her a little celebratory prize. Orla specifically requested that you give it to her, Phoenix. Alright, fine. Let's see. What can I give her? Fish. Orla, it's coming a day late, but congratulations on your verdict. Oh my, aren't you lucky? That's Orla's best trick, the thank you kiss trick. Oh, Orla, I want to be next. Huh? I wonder what Orla said about the attorney's bench, yes. And so the curtain fell on my first trial in years. I'm looking forward to the comeback of Sasha and Orla's Swashbuckler Spectacular. After all, I made a comeback of my own as a lawyer. A few months later. Date unknown. Time unknown. Shipshape Aquarium. Entrance. It's been a while since I visited Shipshape Aquarium. Now that Sasha has recovered from her illness, she's performing today. There's still some time before the show starts. I think I'll wander around a bit. Hi, Phoenix. Hope you enjoy the show today. The orcas are excited and ready to go. Oh, I'm sure I'll enjoy... Wait a minute. Did you say orcas, as in plural? Yep. Let me show you. What? 2 Orlas? Don't tell me. Yep, you caught it right. Aura Shipley the First has returned to Shipshape Aquarium. We be the 3 pirate sisters, We'll be out to stop the evil Scallywag League led by Restash and the giant octopus. Well, I don't want to get in the way of their rehearsal. Guess I better go.
Well, if it isn't Blue Boy, did you come for my book signing?
Oh, Mr. Plume, there's a book signing?
Yes, my new book is just out. It's called Shipshape Aquarium. Don't pull the plug. The book signing will be held here in this room. After all, the vet owes me a favor.
Yeah, she got them to approve the use of the torpedo. I'm grateful. But why does she keep coming to my lab to bother me every single day?
My next work will be entitled Sniper. The penguin leaves the nest.
Ah, stop this cacophony. Why am I surrounded by carping females? Gee, Dr. Crab gets all the ladies. I guess I'll leave him to it. Oops, it's almost time for the show. Where have you been, Daddy? Holly and Athena already went in. While you were waiting, I bought some souvenirs to take back to the village. Sorry to keep you waiting. I bet they'll love your souvenirs back home, Pearls. By the way, I hear a certain someone is going to be in today's show. A certain someone? I wonder who it could be. Oh, it's almost time. The show's just about to start. All right, let's go to the show stage then. I saved you all seats, Mr. Wright. Oh, I can't believe I get to see the show again. I'm so happy. I want to dive in the pool. You'd better not. I think they'd call security. You're welcome in the pool anytime, Athena, but Red Stash is the best swimmer of all.
Huh? Who have you got playing Red Stash's role?
Sasha.
Aura and Orla are ready to go.
Hey, I know that voice. Yup, you minnow it. Marlin is back, and he is playing the role of Red Stash. It be the new Swashbuckler Spectacular. Hope you enjoy it, me buckos. Edgeworth, clearly. Yes.
And so, our pirates set sail for bluer seas under a sunnier sky. As for me, I set foot into the world of law once more as a full-time lawyer.
Yeah. Edgeworth would have been very funny. There we go. Turnabout reclaimed. End. And there we go. That was a fun one. It felt a little bit like the, I guess, the circus case, but good. Like, there were some similar beats that weren't so incongruous and depressing. But, okay. We'll end here. Next time, we're going to get to Turnabout Academy. So we have 3 more cases left in this game before we get to the Spirit of Justice, which is the last game in the Apollo Justice series. And then next month, we have the Ace Attorney Investigations collection coming out, where we get to play as the Edgeworth, which is going to be really exciting. But anyway, we will see you later and continue next time.